Sanje chedan zoje jano la shanja pada dana chasam ja. Dake chishe jebe zonam je rola pencha sanje roba sho. Sanje chedan zoje jano la shanja pada dana chasam ja. Dake chishe jebe tonan jen rola pencha sanjen roba sho sanje chedan zoje janam shanja barda dana jazam che dake chishe jebe tonan jen rola pencha sanjen roba sho. Okay. Good evening, Margaret. As you know, technology is very useful. We can see each other, we can hear each other, nothing to complain, right? Sometimes if we physically together, we have to fight. And we are far away, then we don't have to fight. Like this country, we not, possible to fight physically. In the Tibet and India, they can fight physically, Anyway, I think, one hand, this is a very nice, wonderful to, to a difficult time, but we can do some prayers at home. You can join, it's also so many different prayers, different ways, and you can join everywhere. I think best way, like this kind of things, we can just try to like positive things, not negative things. If we think negative way, there's so many negative things, worries, pandemic, stressful, we just try to think about positive way. Also, it is really good to put into practice your mind. It's very time to help your dharma. Dharma talk about the impermanent. It's really sure right now impermanent, right? Like this is what? This is March? It's May. Like maybe January, February, we think, this is China, we don't think it is coming here. It's not, it's China, they're terrible, they don't take care. We just complain, we just watch them. China's doing that, China's doing that. We don't think this happened. No one think that. But right now this has happened, very up down to all of the world. I think it's very sure to the impermanent to teach us. Because we talk all the time. If we hear all the time, we have nothing to surprise. We hear all the time like this kind of things. Right? Anyway, we do a lot of meditation, okay? And tangazo ngenju goma da tangazo ngenju cheba chekoda ngenju gom korwas.
So we have to generate the renunciation now, right? So we have to meditate on, meditate to generate the renunciation.
And it's saying the naja, just say the chapa dogo is.
So one has to stop the clinging, to this life. Clinging means like an attachment to this life.
Tati kanji dogo is na ane tanjo nyeka sana ila tanjo nyeka da. Chapa mataba gomba ina ane send the chapa don't do it.
So how do we stop attachment or clinging to this life? Is by contemplating, meditating on the profit and rebirth, and the death and impermanence.
What? Lama tsonga be lamji so namat na songi was. Tanjo nyeka tsela loma be yela kumbisini nanje dos.
And so just like Lama Tsongkhapa said in his three principal aspects of the path, by and by meditating on the profit and rebirth and the instability, of this life, then you give up attachment or clinging to this life.
Okay. 제자다 단대 갑랑고니 센디게야 또그땀 가제 제가는도 가제 센들라다지 가제 차사에 매전로 그 간타에 나셔라 마투비 진도야지 나셔라 마투 매도하지 나가도 고any게도 왔어.
And so usually, we can understand, by by looking at this life, how things are changing. It's just a matter of, sooner or later, they all change. Everything that, appears as attractive or beautiful, changes. Everything that, seems to be strong, powerful, that changes also. So nothing remains, same all the time. It's all changing.
배나가도 다 들이 롱칸 두고 지나 대와치 엔티나 사바 칼라 야보여 차사 야보이나 나도 데베 칼라 소소 키워 용을 마치나 텔 차바셔 내가 말아봤어.
So we have to think of this life, this body, as a guest house or hotel, where you stay for a night or two. Like when you go to stay in a hotel, you stay in the best room that you can afford, and you just enjoy. You eat the best food and that you can afford, and you live in the place that but you're not attached to that. You don't think of, this is going to be my forever. You don't think like that. And so that's how you have to think about this life.
제자 대테네도 원내도 왔다 단대 빠르면 가서 나와 좀 시행하다 잡으려면 몸치가 동사로웠어. 당가서 하모가 가서 동사리로.
So this is really true, So nothing stays, forever, right? Just like this situation now, within 3 months, within last 3 months, more than 100,000 people have passed away already.
어찌 당가도 다 체인이 나제도 렌제가로 단조 녀가 살라로면 단조 녀가와 저와 맞다베 고대 섬로 까마카지 되고 섬 다시 왔어. 단조 녀가와 임바 아니 내안 저 네 밀리들 라오지 토고 메와 근데 자가로 오지는 점블레가 sem제 참아지는 못 총가냐 못 총가 뉴도와 대다 아니 단조 녀가와 임바 근데 제대야 아니 고 지가 메마 봐 아니 그 지금도 가지 매도와 신도와 내걸 삼다고 이래 고마이나 세달라 차바다 단단가도 좋아게 내가 말했어 이나 칼레데 곰야네야도 곰나 아니 세달라 차바도 돈도 가르치.
And so we have to meditate on the prophet and rebirth, so the difficulties to achieve the prophet and rebirth, the great significance, of the prophet and rebirth, and how rare it is, to obtain the prophet and rebirth, in terms of the example and all these things. We can think about those, to meditate on the prophet and rebirth, and then also, how the unreliable, or the unstable this life is, how that death can happen anytime and so forth. So those are the things, that makes you stop having attachment or clinging to this life. And so just like that, now for a couple of minutes, we're going to meditate on the prophet and rebirth, and the difficulties to achieve prophet and rebirth and so forth, and death and impermanence. And so as you have already studied Lamrim for a long time, and you already are familiar with that, you know what are the points to think or contemplate at this moment, right, when you're meditating on the prophet and rebirth and death and impermanence.
But
in the three principal path, it's also it includes all the main points, but it's very short and convenient to practice. And so it doesn't explain the part of the Guru devotion in detail like other Lamrim, but other than that, it includes all parts of the Lamrim.
아니 연대 시제만 들어가나 아니 다 신년 때서네 아니 주 성적 받아 차상 대상으로 용도 와.
Whereas the foundation of all good quality, it starts with the Guru devotion and all the way to the state of the unification.
왜 다 단조 내가단 처음 맡아보니 사무직 다시 와.
And so now, think about the the difficulties to achieve prophethood and rebirth, and the death and impermanence.
그래. 뭐야? 아니 담보 단조 이 센디기 나제대도. 아니 다 되나다 가도 세심마 당가도 깨와 심말라야. 내로도 덤나스면 깨와 심말라 잡아지 깨그러 버스. 저도 참아 요러.
So we stop clinging or attachment into this life by thinking like that, and then but we want to have a good rebirth in the future, right? So we will be attached, to the future rebirth.
아니 대가는 아니 렌제 물론 아니 가로 렌제 물론 코비드거나 양야서 심면 나게 더 그렇죠? 제자 안에 렌제 물어봐 임바 레데 사소바에나 안에 코파 삼아서면은 양제부터 뭐고요 와 근데 아니 근데 다 지금 로르도 간다 전에 가지 동화가 내래 마치 삼바나 안에 세심에 나지도 동로레스
And so, so again, even if you're attached, to the next step, that's not good, also because even if you are, even if we have a good rebirth in the future, in the next rebirth, and we're still in samsara, we're still not, free from the sufferings, and so in order to, to give up attachment into the future rebirth, and then just like it is said in the three principles of the path. One should meditate on the karmic law of cause and effect, and the sufferings of the samsara again and again. So by thinking about that, then one will stop attachment or clinging to the future rebirths. Okay, now think about that. Think on that. For a couple of minutes.
Oh yeah. That to something any tang also tang minju chewar da minju yego yes.
So now, by thinking about all the sufferings of the samsara, like that, then we should develop renunciation, wanting to be free from all the suffering of the samsara.
근데 다 젠달라야 초모도. 제가 시마라야 초모도. 다 텔레 타와 도고도 선배. 아니 인트레거나 타와 되는 걸로 쇼나 안에 민주 chewar yes.
And so then think about how this life is meaningful, meaningless, and how the future rebirths are meaningless. And so rather than just thinking about this life or the future rebirths, and I should think about freeing myself from the entire cyclic existence. So by thinking like that, then you develop renunciation in your mind.
Okay. 제가 다 되니 가네죠. 따로 가로 당가 민주 chew에 따로 가려요레스. 가네. 나 가지 하고 그래서 많이 나스.
And so how do you know, you have generated renunciation, or what is the criteria, of having generated renunciation?
초도스는 민주 chew서래.
So what do you think? What is the criteria, of having generated renunciation? Any of you have generated renunciation?
Maybe Michael? Not yet. How about Karen? Almost there. How about Jennifer? Not yet. How about Bob? How about Margaret? Almost there.
Is it day and night to be free of samsara?
No.
You were asking if we had.
Oh.
You have?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I hope so. I hope so.
I hope so, yeah.
How about JR? You think you have?
Maybe I quit smoking a few months ago, and it was so easy. Everything is so easy to give up now. My wage, I know I'm not as needy for like anything. Although I did buy some tobacco, but I'm like, I know I'm gonna run out of it. It'd be so easy to give up. But also, Baba Zopa says, samsara. He says laughing sometimes. You just feel like used toilet paper. Even if you're having cake, when you think of samsara, all the sufferings, life after life. Like my life.
No. I'm not asking. No. I'm not asking you explain it. Do you have not?
Huh? Renunciation?
I'm not asking. I'm not asking you explain. Ask. Are you have or not?
Yes, I think so.
Good. Congratulations.
Thanks. It's still, it's still samsara, but
Good. Okay, Deborah. Maybe Deborah, we know her. Jackie. Jackie's hiding beyond that. Taj. jar charangi cho ngeju yelapso ngeju chewe ta cho khariyos ngeju chewe ta khariyos.
So what is the sign of having generated renunciation? What is the sign?
Nyunyu she mabu she mo nyunyu.
Just give a small short explanation.
Renunciation?
Yeah, cho charangi ngeju yelapso ngeju na ngeju ta khariyos cho.
They say you have to think. One thing you have to foresee that you're going to die in this life, and see beyond, I guess, the pleasures of clinging to this life, this aggregate, this body, like my writing, or just into the next life. See beyond that, and also give up the suffering of samsara and not want the more suffering of samsara.
No. I'm not saying explain that. I said give me the signs.
Sign?
What is the sign? What is the sign that you see in yourself that tells you that you have generated renunciation?
I feel like I don't even want to say it's not fearing death in a way, not fearing the loss of this life in a way, but not being at all like swayed by the pleasures of samsara or the suffering of change. I don't know how to put. I don't know what other sign. I don't know. I haven't seen anything cosmic. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe thumbtacks on my windows is out on my door. But I don't know.
Kerala ya. 근데 단다 지난 코비드 19게 내다 된거 맞아 지난 내사 요 신경 말아 봤어.
This?
단다 지난 코비드 19 나사
Oh.
되게 내다 된거 맞아 나사 요 하고 말아 봐. 제가
So
내주
like
따다
the
먹어도
like the
미지 하고
symptoms,
말아 봤어.
like the symptoms of the COVID-19. Right? If you don't know what are the symptoms of the COVID-19, you would not know that you have COVID-19. Is that right?
얘도 지봐.
You would know?
You wouldn't
Yeah.
know, right? If you don't have the symptoms, if you don't know what are the symptoms, of the COVID-19, you wouldn't know that you have COVID-19. So when you see the symptoms, oh, I have this, I have that, also must be that I have COVID-19, then you will see like that, right? So you will know if you see the symptoms, if you know what are the symptoms. So just like that, if you know what are the signs of renunciation, then you know, whether you have renunciation or not.
Well, I don't have a fever, but I think COVID-19 is kind of falling on
No,
me.
I'm not talking about that. No, don't talk COVID-19. It's just an example. You say you have the renunciation. Give me the science renunciation.
Well, symptoms of having renunciation.
Yeah.
Feeling absolutely disgust with most things about living in samsara and going on to more samsara, all types of suffering. Like I have a fever. I'm in samsara and I have a fever. I don't know. I have COVID-19 because I'm in some samsara. Is that okay? I don't know. I'm not going to debate.
Go get it. Okay. 제가 가서 가서 수수께라 냠내도 여도메 냠내도 여베 따도 하고 대면은 냠내미 하고 말아. 냠내도 여나 따제 되는데 요거 와 대하고 그래서.
So if we do the practice, of the renunciation, if we, create the cause, to generate renunciation, just like we talked about, and then you see the sign, that I don't, I have that, I feel like that, then that's the sign that you have generated renunciation.
Well, I know. Since I feel like I've developed renunciation, I keep my vows, my refuge vows.
That's good. But this is not sign. Okay,
Huh?
this is not sign. Okay. Pachazo ni sign my love you answer.
When I generate renunciation.
Okay. Can you mute yourself? John, you can mute. Okay, that's good. Yeah, because other people doesn't hear your talking. 제가 아니 년주 가다질 년주도 여배 딱 그러나 코베 예무도 시험하나 소소 레네야 바쁘동안 세마지 소알레 그래서 소무세 레레 바쁘동안 미는 치마도 되는 거 그래서.
So one of the sign, of having generated renunciation is whenever you talk about samsara, like the shortcomings of samsara, the sufferings and the shortcomings or the disadvantage of the samsara, then immediately you will have like goosebumps. You'll get goosebumps on your body, and then you shed tears. The tears will fall out of your eyes. So that is the kind of sign that you have generated renunciation.
제가 단단 안 두질라 아 튜스레 땅코도 동아라저레 야포요 말에 쌈대마지 소킬랭도.
So right now we don't get that kind of strong feeling of like a goosebump or tears in our eyes when we hear about samsara, when we hear about the suffering of samsara, when we hear about all the problems that's happening in samsara.
제가 대지 다 나지가 안에 다음에 받아 안에 동반이지 안에 다 디가 책 암조로 코와이나 다 나지 리네 바빠지와 미니치마도 용거 그래서. 아미지 따들라.
And so just like that, also when you hear selflessness or emptiness, then you get same kind of feeling, same kind of like goosebumps and tears in your eyes.
Okay. 다 나지게 타베 타베가 페라고 시바였나야? 아니 미네 치마도 리네 바빠도 용거 그래서.
And then like that also when somebody tells you about the advantages of liberation, the benefits of liberation, then you get the same kind of feeling like the strong, goosebumps and tears in your eyes.
다 나지 샤적의 생고 편이다. 이제 친구 편이잖아 양. 아니 릴레 바보 좀 있는 좀 대치 소화가 연구였어.
And so like that also when somebody tells you about the benefits of great compassion or bodhicitta, then you get the goosebump and tears in your eyes.
제단 3점 지나서 다들 알라마 소바른 버치다. 아니 군디고 소주 나대요 갈라야 3점 아니 가면 나게는 게 들어갈라야 슉되기도 왔어. 아니 다 좋아대 연구였어. 고나 봐서라.
And so like you might have experienced or witnessed that His Holiness the Lama or Lama Zopa Rinpoche, when they are teaching on great compassion or bodhicitta, in the middle of the teaching they will be crying. So that's because they get that strong feeling, the goosebump and tears in their eyes.
제단 안돌라 땅 코와 코에 동아 가르쳐와 나왔다 연발에 땅 코에 동아랑 코와 야포요 말에 삼대야마도 좋아 결례면도.
Whereas to us, when we hear about the sufferings of the samsara, we say, yeah, there's like this kind of suffering, that kind of suffering. That's all we hear. And then but we don't get any feelings because we don't have the renunciation.
다나지 샤적의 샘다 아니 이제 또 가세 시셔만 다 연발에 다 야포 요살에 삼대야마도 좋아 결례면도.
And then just like that, no matter how much we are told about great compassion or bodhicitta, we just think, oh yeah, that's right, great compassion is great, bodhicitta is great. We feel like that. We think like that, but we don't get any feelings.
Right? 어디 되다 다다 소소질랑 내주 째기면 됐다고다. 근데 안에 되게 식토하다. 야무나 소소는 통화되시나 샘을 소화 가갈래나? 오늘 제 연구였다 돼.
And so the sign of having genuine renunciation, is that if you get that kind of strong feeling when you hear about the disadvantages of the samsara, then that is one of the signs.
나중에 만났다. 내주 째도 집에 가라 가려서 아니 소소 빼 뭐냐 자네가 지금 곰대야 가고 냠내치야 대치 보면 사람에게 다 차로 있어 봐.
And then when you generate renunciation, you don't have any interest to do anything else but to meditate, to do the practice, to practice Dharma. That's the only thing you'll be interested in doing. You'll have no interest in anything else in the life, only for except practicing Dharma. So that's the sign of having generated renunciation.
안 다나제가 아니 빼나 소소 소소고 스점 소소고 켈랑제베 담스기 돈 받어도 빼 야보송에 다나제게 빼나 오부 고다나 다 오부 간지 내차 셔다 뜨무고는 되게 완다치는 만도와 되냐고 있어 봐.
And then also one will be very good at keeping one's vows. So whatever the vows and commitments that one has taken, one will keep them all very properly. One will observe all those vows very well, and will engage in the practices very strongly.
어디 다나제게 아니 지금 세지 처리 봐. 남지 차 때문에 뭐냐 봐. 남주라 쩨바 쩨도 봐 되냐고 있어 봐.
And then also, one will be very good at doing the practice in a timely manner, like not wasting the times, doing other things, or doing the practices in a time that is best to do, like throughout the day and into the late nights, and then starting from very early in the morning, and then being able to control one's the diets, like not eating too much that will cause one to fall into sleep or be bored and be lazy like that, so those kind of controlling diet like that. And then also one will not be influenced by the delusions. One will not be attracted to do the meaningless things of this life.
와다 든지게 따용 거리 든지게 제토와나 따 아니 단다 내주 제와라 빼 타냐고 있어 봐.
So those are the signs. So when you are able to do that, then that's a very good sign that you have you have generated renunciation or very close to generated renunciation.
제가 전에 드네 따로 레기도 해.
So do you have any of those signs?
나도 저게 하나 로치 야만다 다와카시나 저게 가도 대제소에 도발한 걸나 올라가다 헷갈리기도 하.
So for us, like if we are told to take the 8 minor precept every day, for 1 month. We find that very difficult, right?
제가 내가도 저랑 저도 누구를 나게 맞다. 내가도 참아들에 된다. 내가 나도 단다 깔리 야도달래 도요 말이.
And so I'm not saying to you, we're all like that, we're all like that. So that means, we have not already reached, or have generated renunciation yet.
오케이. 어떤데요? 다 된지게 아니 장점 초롱바데 아니 된리데 다 연주데 인생거데 된리데 다 인생거데 된리데 타와 된지 걸로 마도 강제면 아니 장점 초롱바 차서 거래스.
And so like that, so one has generated, renunciation by developing that mind, wishing to achieve liberation, throughout day and night, then one has entered into the path, So if it is the Mahayana path, then it will be the Mahayana path accumulation.
내가도 곰년한테 깨었다가도 곰년은 나도 대 차요.
And so if we meditate, we can definitely generate that.
제 장가 어때지? 대단한것도 곰들이야. 곰마도 마도 삼로마도 나도 전도 탐에 시디 시를 맞았듯이 신거든. 나도 곰마저마다 샘나 강에 들어가라 나도 가르치는 야야나 삼대기도.
And so that's why it is very important, to meditate, to practice to meditate. You all know that already, you all know it, It's just because we haven't put it into practice. That's why when we face some difficulties, then we wonder, what should I do? What should I do? We wonder like that. And that's because we have not put it into practice.
대지 다 된대. 다 된대 연주제 다 전도 토나마 차들. 다 토나라 토나 중은 제 전보들이 그래서.
And then so like that, by generating renunciation, you have entered into the path. And so the first part is the path of accumulation. In the path of accumulation, there are 3 levels: the small, middling, and great.
다 돈도 언니 코너서 연대기 전에 가가 딱 그래서 연대기 전에 미세가 전화고 가서 빠자 내세고 빠자 가로 참모들이 요 말해서.
So in terms of the qualities that they possess, they are differentiated in their different levels, but there is no abandonment to be abandoned on the path of accumulation yet.
예상하던 도시는 지나 안에 상제불 같이 담으면 소소하고 그러나 처럼도 저랑 내가 같이 담고 소소하고 그래.
And so according to the sutra, it takes 3 countless great eons, to achieve state of full enlightenment. And it is said that during the first 2 paths, the path of accumulation and path of preparation, you accumulate the merit, of the first countless great eon of merit, is accumulated during the path of accumulation and path of preparation.
아 다는 게 상점 손하고 내가 됐나 미세게 연전하고 가리 돕고 그래 세바이 나들어 와. 아니 대소 영갈란 개백이 다 미세게 고 니바탕 거 들어봤어.
가려서
대소 영가 대바지 전바지 띵인든지 혈압 손지 대바 손지 전바 혈압 띵인든 대소 영가.
And so what kind of qualities do you achieve during the path of accumulation? Is you become expert in these 5 objects, the faith and so forth. So the faith, effort, and mindfulness, and concentration and wisdom.
제가 따뜻 손하고 내가서 미세게 손하고 너무 많이 배게 양고 들어가지 용도 봤어.
And so those are the qualities that you especially achieve during the path of accumulation.
그와 아니 대화 전부가 배나 대화 배나 대저 너무 많이 배가 아니 저기 잠로다 아니 남지서 신예 대사다 아니 기위 출하면 배가 아니 기위 출하다 미배 대화 수치 모여와 대화 때 모여와 이거 들어봤어.
And so so during the path of accumulation, you will have very strong faith. Faith in the guru devotion, the faith in the like law of cause and effect and so forth. That kind of faith will be very strong, immovable faith during the path of accumulation.
안에 지금 다 냠내 집에 가다야 곰자다 점바동와 라초비 아니 존리 첨보 아니 깔레 자통이 되는 거예요.
And then also you will have strong effort. You will be able to make a strong effort, to do any practices like engaging in the practice of generosity and so forth, or helping others, and you'll be able to make a strong effort to do all those practices.
다 나중에 아니 삼바 정보 샹첩 sem라서 아니 직다더니 만냐매 받치네. 저도 손은 지게 나거니 냐매 받치네. 아니 템바 아니 분도서 받게고 살았어.
And then like that, so you will not, you will be mindful, of the bodhicitta all the time. You will not forget, So in this case, when you say mindful, it means like you will not forget. You will remember it all the time. So your memory, your remembrance, remembering of the bodhicitta or mindfulness of bodhicitta or not forgetting bodhicitta becomes very strong, especially in the middling in the level of the path of accumulation.
다 나중에 아니 샘때집에 띵이 된다. 아니 동반이라 미비다. 라도 톱도 지게다. 아니 협된 보는 거요. 그래서
And then, so then especially you will have a strong concentration, in bodhicitta, and and you are about, you have, you are about to develop that, wisdom, analyzing, analyzing or the special insight, into a wisdom, through which you move up to the path of preparation. So then your wisdom becomes strong as well.
어디다 다 배나 대소 인가랑 냠내대 안에 손아버네 가서 도모만 돕고 있어. 다 tel라 때문에 초마보 로마보 까바마보 싸고 그래서.
And so those are the five, the objects, the faith and so forth, that you especially develop during the path of accumulation. And with that, with those practices, you will accumulate a great amount of merit. And you have to keep on accumulating merit for one countless great eons.
다 나중에 저도 전화 중에 가서 장적고 샘때 아니 사도치 말이든 잠벌리가 소톡 다 로톡 찾아 살았던 제가 먼저 대화 전부고 남게 냠네 찾아게 다 보고 맞산라데 전함 중에 제가 먼저 빼드는 거였어.
So then also it is said that the small path of accumulation of the Mahayana vehicle is like the ground. It's called like bodhicitta, like the ground, because all the plants and trees and the grass and they grow from the ground, right, from the earth, and so just like that, and all the qualities, all the subsequent qualities of the Mahayana vehicle, comes from. Starts from the small Mahayana path of accumulation, and therefore that's like the foundation from which all the subsequent qualities of the Mahayana path comes, and therefore it's called like a ground.
나중에 아니 손은 뒤덮자고 아니 빼나 세다오지나 가려 세 잘라 가르나 세가 뭐 제와면 나지 손은 뒤덮자데 아니 상집선데만 냐마요 말했어.
And then the small, then the middling path of accumulation, Mahayana path of accumulation, is like a gold. It is like a gold, just like the gold never changes. Gold remains gold all the time, and therefore, once you have reached the middling path of accumulation, then your bodhicitta doesn't change, it doesn't degenerate.
다 나중에 자좀 손은 뒤덮자 개와 가리지 싸바는 조장 전로와 단로에 차버렸어. 이 말해서.
And then. Just like that, like that also, whatever virtue that you accumulate, and after the middling path of Mahayana and the path of accumulation, everything becomes a cause to achieve enlightenment. Every practice, every virtue that you accumulate from there on, and it becomes a cause to achieve state of full enlightenment.
아니 자도 전화 침부 돕게래 아니 디지 자적고 샘때 나왔어 나왔나 쳇바 찌게 나왔다 그래서 너무 중심이 좀 와. And then during
the great path of Mahayana path of accumulation, it becomes like a waxing moon, like a waxing moon. It's like the moon of the first day. The first day moon. Then from there it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. It's waxing more, and so just like that, from there on, your bodhicitta only increases. Becomes greater and greater.
어제 근데 다 대 안에 손을 그냥 가서 배나 다 미세게 제출하고 냠련으로 내용 거였다.
And so those are the qualities, the specialty, of the minor path of accumulation.
다 담은 거네다. 담봉아도 세대가 나제도, 전에 심해 나제도, 전에 타왔더니 로치네는 가서 손을 쇼로 제고 왔어.
And so now from the beginning again, so first you give up attachment to this life, then give up attachment to the future rebirth, and then you develop the wish to achieve liberation, and through that generate renunciation and enter into the path.
제가 남 제도 집에 가라 가는 거래. 안에 수좀 야보송와 안에 남지 따침 가루 남지 차 때문에 뭐냐와 남줄라 제바 제지 처리 받는 거가 제도 그래서.
And then when you're about to generate renunciation, you will be able to observe your morality or the commitments and the vows properly, and you will be able to make effort to do your practice, practice like throughout the day, like without throughout the day, without sleeping, first and last, first part, the first part of the night and the last part of the night, without sleeping so only during the middle part of the night you sleep, and then the rest time, you do the practice like that. You'll be able to make effort to do practice throughout the time like that.
제가 다 들으려는 안에 깔림에게 차려고 살아 와시. 깔리시라 요사 말에.
And so, in other words, you will have no difficulties. You will feel not tired at all to do the practice all the time.
안에 다 하나 지금 다 다왔지로 저 안에 지금 다외 편이다 고베 예믹시하다 안에 믿는 참아들을 다 내주지 말해.
And then after that, so when you're about to generate renunciation, whenever somebody talks, or lamas or great, whoever talks about the benefits of the liberation and the sufferings of the samsara, the disadvantage of the samsara. Whenever you hear that, then you get all these great, goosebumps in your body and the tears in your eye. Then that is the sign you have generated, renunciation.
다 근데 너 이제 가지 지원나 자좀 손을 중었지 왔지. 근데 다나 지나서 근데 너야. 저 로종 찰 냠내 찰 깔에 돼.
And then whenever that renunciation, it's conjoined, with the bodhicitta, and then you enter into the minor path of accumulation. So that's the sign. So do you think you have those signs?
제가 나도 주제 가는 얘기 이 주제 가는 거요.
So how many hours do we sleep?
8 hours. 5, 6, 7 hours.
7 hours.
7 hours.
10 hours.
That's good. Oh. Okay. Anyway, 제가 단단하도 내 답보다 가도 니 야부 크고 니 야부 크고 그러다. 최소 줄이는 야소래. 거야부 저기 얘고 그랬어.
So now we are beginners, right? So for the beginners, it's good to have good sleeps, long sleep, plenty of sleep. So 10 hours is very good.
단단 장고는 뭐 지금 니 말에 공달에 추수 good 얘기 선 것도 봐도. 대 장고는 뭐 제 코로나 터모 마인베 가르 터모 마인벨로 고마다 터모마 되제 나고라 단단하죠. 장고는 제 로 게인도 요와 나와 강에 남비 땡거도 대 고요. 땡아도 대 내가 땡겨요랬어.
So just like His Holiness also says that he sleeps 10 hours, 9 to 10 hours, and so of course His Holiness is a manifestation of Buddha, but to our appearance, he is manifesting like a ordinary being, ordinary aged, ordinary old person. And so therefore he has to show, what is, a proper thing for the ordinary being to do. So that's why he's, telling that he sleeps that many hours.
Whereas Lama
Zopa Rinpoche never sleeps like we do. I mean, he never lies down. Even if he dozes off, a couple of minutes like that. while sitting up, but never lie down.
근데 그 뒤서치는 요 말이야. 다 영게 님에 가는 니가 메투야다 대블로야다 되잖아. 공다는 가도 주제변나 제와 거와나 손주지는 조개 주정하고 시방하면 지금이요. 아니 이 그지 드세요 말이야.
There's no time to sleep at all for Lama Zopa Rinpoche. He's always teaching, right? He's always teaching. Like in the daytime he will be talking to people, he will be consulting people, and and then reading books and things like that. And in the nighttime, usually he starts teaching in the night, right? And then when he starts teaching in the night, like around 7, 8, 9 o'clock, then he goes, to teach until like 4 or 5, a.m. in the morning. So there's no time to sleep for himself at all.
제가 산호요 단다다나 림보체는 그 수보야 보여 말이었어. 오늘 저 스트로크 포디래. 루 수보 체가 되다 난돈 통설라 아니 내바로 와이네 단다에 봐나 요새 저 땅금 좋아.
And so like now, Rinpoche's body is not healthy, right? In a common sense, Rinpoche's body is not healthy because he has a stroke and half of his body was paralyzed. But yet, he doesn't change, in his way of doing the practice. It's always doing the same thing.
세상 안도 되네요. 제도 살아봐.
So if we have a stroke like that, will we be able to continue practice like that?
제가 남주 따침 남주 차 때문에 문제 난줄라 잼바 되네요 그래서.
And so, without sleeping, the first part of the night and the last part of the night, and striving to do practice throughout all the time. So that kind of, and a thing will happen, if we generate renunciation.
근데 뭐지 샤라다는데 샤라 나도 나지게 샤라 차오. 딱 간지 신보ችን 파지는 뭐지 죽어 말해. 샤라 돈을 샤서 제대 제가 되는 저와 비슷하다 그래. 아니 제대 제가지라 칼라 다 못 참아.
And Lama Zopa Rinpoche never eats, food so fast, like a fresh, warm or hot food like we do. He always makes offerings. He says the purpose of the food is to make offering. So when it's offered, then it's done. For him, that's what he feels. So he always, spends 15, 20 or half an hour, just making offerings.
세상 안도 림보진님도 샤라로 전화 다 깔릭한데 드세 말도 없이.
We'll be so tired, if we are eating with Rinpoche. We have to wait for Rinpoche, to start, and we'll be like sitting there, just like with Rinpoche, for a long time making offerings, and we'll feel so tired.
제가 세지 처리 받아다 드는 이제 와. 또 단대가 빼셔야 되는 샤초에 와서.
And then like the moderate eating, the moderate eating. So that's the kind of moderate eating, So that's the example we can, we can take, as a moderate eating.
Okay, any questions? Yes, Bob.
So when you generate bodhicitta, do you need to generate renunciation first and then generate bodhicitta, or do sometimes people generate them at the same time?
냠냠 레고 다 다뭐 샤집 셈 찍어지 고 냠냠 레고 와서 가지 내주디 샤집 셈 것으나 생고 그랬어. 내주라 곰도 여와지 타와더니 로치 바지. 대야 다 태와지 뭐 맨나 삼지 탐주도 타와 토고들나 고 샤집 셈 섬도 그래.
So if you are generating, if you are entering into the minor path, from the beginning without going through the heroes or soldiers of the path, then you are generating at the same time together.
Okay.
But if we're trying to practice the Mahayana path, but I guess so for myself, it's difficult to think about bodhicitta if I don't think about renunciation first. If I think about renunciation first, I get a stronger feeling about bodhicitta. If I think about bodhicitta at the beginning, then it's not such a strong feeling.
년주의 샤집선 년주랑 년주 손라게 배워야 돼. 년주의 샤집선 som거나 년주의 년을 연구 계좌래서.
두주도 끼고 와서 말하더네.
제가 년주 변에 시당 년주 딱 년주고 선반 년을래네. 가다 딱 년주고 오늘도 말어 왔어. 간지 년주 제다데 년을래네. 아니 샤집선도 곧야 가로 다 도용 걸 왔어.
Yeah, so of course, you have the strong renunciation first, before you have the bodhicitta. but you haven't actually, you have the thought of renunciation, but you haven't actually generated renunciation at that time. So then you have a very strong renunciation, thinking about your own suffering and how it is all so terrible, going through all these sufferings in samsara, and then you start to think like, oh yeah, just like that, just like I do, others also. So then you're going like together, But of course, before that, before you generate bodhicitta, you have to have renunciation first for yourself. But then when you enter into the minor path, these two happen at the same time.
제가 년중원에다 상접서 원에다 빠지 당번이 내리게나 뒤뒤뒤뒤 제가 원에다.
And so you have a strong I say tendency towards renunciation, very strong at the beginning, and then led by that, then you'll have a bodhicitta. So, oh, just like me, there are all other beings, going through all these sufferings, and I cannot just, free myself alone. I have to think about all these things, and with that, then you generate bodhicitta, right? You have a strong feeling of bodhicitta, and then the actual renunciation and the actual bodhicitta are generated at the same time. Even though you have very close bodhicitta, very close renunciation, maybe before that, but the actual bodhicitta and actual renunciation are generated at the same time for a bodhisattva who is entering into the Mahayana path from the beginning, without going through the heroes or soldiers path.
Okay. 제가 단단 괜찮아서 지금 상접선 당 년주야 깨당 제백갑다. 아니 다지 깨제백하고 대소인 같은 소 삼부터 땅았어. 당가서 돈을 다들 돈함래도 로셔는 가도 코치라 토할래마도 하나. 디갑을 연대 가리가리 토고 그래서 가다데 삼로 가리가리 땅고 그래서 네 주망아도 존엄시가 있어.
And so during the path of accumulation, like I mentioned, the special quality that you have is those the qualities of the 5 objects, such as faith and so forth. So those are the ones that you generate. And so think about that. How do you generate renunciation? How do you enter into the path? And during the first path of accumulation, what kind of qualities you have. So think about that. That's what you're being taught now, right? So think about that, those qualities. And then the next time we're going to go into path of preparation.
Any other questions? Karen, Michael, Jennifer, Margaret. No questions?
I have a quick question.
Yes.
I think I'm going to stay up tonight. I don't sleep that much. I woke up this morning with really good energy. I want to, the Nagarjuna booklet with in praise of satisfying sentient beings and the emptiness by Nagarjuna that came before that. When this holiness taught what Geshe Tenley wanted taught at the monastery, would that be good to work on bodhicitta combined with emptiness realization, like Nagarjuna booklet with in praise of satisfying sentient beings that Geshe Tenley sponsored at Sarah J? Or in Dharamsala, the Dalai Lama taught it. Would that be a good teaching? Or bodhicitta and emptiness, like because the two are kind of combined at some level.
I didn't understand the question. Did anybody understand? I don't know, maybe my speaker or your microphone is not very clear.
I think I was asking about the book In Praise of Satisfying Sentient Beings. Was that it, JR? You were asking about that book, Nagarjuna book?
Geshe Tenley sponsored that at in Dharamsala. The holiest taught that. I downloaded that. I know the ultimate bodhicitta and emptiness. I know ultimately bodhicitta and emptiness ultimately combined. Would that be like a good thing to go back, like the emptiness argument, emptiness document there by Nagarjuna in praise of satisfying to these beings, combine emptiness and bodhicitta, like for tonight.
Yeah, I think you have no very good connection because this cut.
Okay.
Yeah, hopefully we can do next time. Okay, do a little bit of meditation, okay?
Can I ask a question?
No, I have to go because I have to start the next one. What are your question? Very quickly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So during the great path of accumulation, bodhicitta only becomes greater and greater. So I've never thought about that. How does bodhicitta get greater and greater?
그러면은 사제요 말하지. 사제는 야타는 건도 마무토고 왔어.
Yeah, it has to keep on growing, you know, until you achieve enlightenment.
근데 사제요 말어. 사제면 야 예전 도로야.
Yeah, so until you have not reached enlightenment, your bodhicitta has to keep on growing. Your bodhicitta is very small at the beginning.
근데 지난게 당부 못다 땅시에 가래 저 못다 땅 싱거워. 옛날 단다 저 야지 땅이로.
It's like, you know, when you just learn to drive, you know how to drive, but you have still, you know, a lot to learn about it. It's like that.
Okay. Then have a good night. Then I think maybe you guys also doesn't get a chance to join the Tarapure Lexus Club maybe too early. But you know, we did the change. There's something also many things going on the 7 o'clock. Therefore, I changed back that. And also the 8:30 also do Tibetans. You can also join with that. Okay. Okay. Now I'm leaving. You guys should finish prayer. Okay.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Geshe-la and
Thank you,
Damcho.
Damcho-la.
Thank you. Good
Thank
night.
you.